Also at high noon on ABC.
Yeah.
Number 22, your Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Sure.
On the road against Arkansas. This line has taken a nosedive. Dan Rubenstein, it is currently Notre Dame -4. I believe in the preseason when you could get some of those advanced lines. This one was up there around 13, 14 points, somewhere in that neighborhood. When the line broke earlier in the week, it was higher. It has very progressively gone down.
I've seen, 4 and 3.5 at some places. Yeah.
That line is racing in the direction of the Hogs, and it makes a lot of sense. If you have watched Notre Dame, as I have, as many have, just by applying some critical thought, you can understand why this line is where it's at. And it's because of the Notre Dame defense. The Notre Dame defense has been a train wreck so far this season. Arkansas has had this game circled for well over a year. They will be hungry. I think they will be able to move the ball. I think Taylen Green is going to be a problem, and I don't know that Notre Dame has a good answer for him. Honestly, I think the biggest issue for Arkansas in this game is not beating themselves, because the Hogs, as you know, as anyone who watches this team knows, they are not that far away from being 4-0 right now. They had two close losses that very easily could have been close wins. So for me, as the Notre Damer among us, I look at this game and I am terrified. I love Notre Dame's offense. I think their offense is going to go to warp speed. I think they're going to put up a ton of points here. I have no idea if they can stop Arkansas and Taylen Green.
Man, I wish Arkansas had a little bit more of a heartbeat on their own defense here. I'm going to take the points just because I think you're talking situationally, bringing what could be one of the most disappointing pass defenses in America on the road against a good quarterback, a good offensive coordinator. You know, I still think these types of games are won in the trenches and one doing the little things, which obviously Arkansas has struggled with. Arkansas was right there with Ole Miss, I believe, on the road. That game was in Oxford, I believe. And certainly the Memphis game was not only in their grasp, but it was given away. I'm going to take the points here. I'm going to take the points because I think it's going to go back and forth. I think Notre Dame, we believe their offense should be pretty explosive this year. You don't want to say like, okay, well, they have it all figured out after that game against Purdue, but against Texas A&M, they look really sharp at times on offense as well. I'm going to go with Arkansas here in a wild game. I think it's going to be wild because the usual things that Notre Dame can depend on to win these types of games cannot be depended on. And so Notre Dame is now in the process of learning how to win in new ways, which I think it's going to be a pretty frenzied atmosphere. Believing in Arkansas to win a big game is certainly a choice that I'm making.
That's a choice unto itself, but yeah, sure, point taken.
It's a weird sport. Arkansas is the most college football team. So I'm going to go with Arkansas to have an outright win against Notre Dame in a very chaotic Fayetteville environment.
I'm also taking Arkansas outright.
Okay. But you can't be trusted. You try to reverse jinx. You have all these
This is not a reverse jinx.
Games you play.
I do have these games that I play. This is not one of those times. I thought about locking up Arkansas. I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
Because then it'll really look like I'm trying to do a reverse jinx. But look, I feel great about the over. The over is 64.5. I don't know how high they can make it. Yeah. But I know, having watched Notre Dame's defense, that it has not gotten particularly better.
Right.
And they've had opportunities. I mean, Purdue scoring 30 points. Purdue's plucky. And I think Purdue might end up being better. They can't be any worse than they were a year ago.
Yeah.
You shouldn't score 30 points against Notre Dame, against this defense. You kidding me?
Agree.
You score 41 or 40 points, I guess, against Texas A&M. If you had told me that 2 years ago, that you would score that at home against one of the better teams in the country and you'd still lose, I would say you're crazy. This defense is not good right now. And I know Marcus Freeman talked a good game in his press conference and said that they had an uncomfortable meeting earlier this week talking amongst the defensive staff. You know, again, emphasizes this thing about players needing to execute and whatnot. I mean, they all kind of say the same thing at this point, right? But whatever is going on, I tend to think it's more of a scheme thing to my untrained eye. Clearly, they've got a lot of talent on hand. It just seems like there's confusion back there, especially in the pass defense. So give me Arkansas outright.
Yeah, I'm going Arkansas outright. Again, it's a choice. It's an
a
absolute choice.
It's a choice. But Arkansas, by the way, also, I think a team, at least a coaching staff, Sam Pittman has to feel like his back's against the wall, too.
This would be a signature win. I don't know how long, even if they were to win, obviously the schedule continues to be very much real for the Hogs. By the way, something working in Notre Dame's favor is the kickoff time here.
12 o'clock?
It's not the same as a 3:30, been tailgating all day, been tailgating 6-7 hours. I know, obviously, the diehard Arkansas fans are going to be tailgating for a while, even for a noon kick. But it's not a night game. It's not something that's, you don't have the potential energy of a stadium waiting all day. So there is something that can be a little bit sleepy about a noon kick for a big game. Depending on the place, depending on the situation, I still think it's going to be a crazy crowd. But I just don't think it would be the fever pitch of a 3:30 or a 7:15 kick.
No. If you play college fantasy football, which I do not, pick Taylen Green this week. Okay. Just take Taylen Green. He's going to have a field day. He's got They don't have an answer for him. They really don't. They can't get to the quarterback. And even if they could, guys are open down the field. So just take Taylen Green. Don't even think twice about it.